Hello, welcome back to the ministry. This is Taj McCameron. So today the Lord gave me a word. He actually gave it to me the other night, but I didn't get a chance to do anything with it because I didn't feel like it yesterday. And what happened was I saw a word from Dana Ray, and when I saw the word that she did, I heard her say, love thy neighbor or your next door neighbor. And I was like, oh, okay. I let it go. I was like, okay, whatever. And as the days went past from the time I saw that word, I kept seeing things like the movie Love and Basketball came on, and in it, the two characters were living across from each other. She lived in the house adjacent to his house, and they could see in each other's window. Next, I was being reminded of a piece of fiction I read years ago, but no, I didn't read that. I wrote that piece of fiction. Okay. And in it, the two characters lived across the hall from each other. And I'm like, so y'all was neighbors. And I was like, okay, Lord, what you trying to say? Which is what brought my remembrance back to what Dana Ray was saying in her word about loving thy neighbor, and that these relationships is like this person is your neighbor. But when God was bringing it to my attention, he was putting it in the format of the guy next door. Follow this. So when he showed me that, I looked up, what is the guy next door? What's the meaning of that saying? Because we've all heard it. We mostly heard the girl next door, but what's the guy next door? It's a phrase. If you're referring to someone as the boy next door, the girl next door, you're meaning that they are pleasant, respectable, likable. He's dependable, straightforward. The guy next door. The Lord was trying to bring my attention to the fact that your God ordained partner has a personality of the guy next door. But not only does he have the personality of the guy next door, he is very what? Pleasant, respectable, and likable, which brought me back to, and God's bringing this to me right now, remember in Proverbs 31, it talked about the Proverbs 31's wife, the Proverbs 31 wife's husband was well known in the community because of what? He had a likable, respectable personality. He's dependable. Most men, if raised correctly by their mothers, they are raised to be dependable men. Okay? But catch this, they are also straightforward. Meaning they ain't gonna play games with you when they come into relationship with you. Now, this is also something that the Lord was bringing my attention to. Give me 1 second because I got to look up the lyrics for this song. Now, remember, we've been talking about the fact that these men have already previously noticed us, correct? Well, the Lord brought my attention to this, that the song Beauty, he's been showing me this song several times when I was listening to the radio throughout. And in it, the song goes, sorry didn't notice you there, but then again, you didn't notice me. Now, we actually noticed them even though they didn't realize we noticed them. So we'll remain passersby until the next time we speak. I hope that I can make you mine, for another man steals your heart. And once your beauty is mine, I swear I'll never be apart. Some of these men have been observing you at a distance. If you think about the movie Love and Basketball, the guy was always looking out his window across the way to see what she was doing. Was he not? Which also reminds me, it's a specific Strong's Concordance number, don't know it off the top of my head, that means peeping through lattice windows. And I've been hearing this a couple of times as I go about listening to what I listen to throughout the day. These men have been looking at you at a distance. And even if you go back to my other word where I was talking about Ezekiel 16, 6 through 16, the thing that I talk about is the guy passed the woman by first, then waited for her maturity to come by again. Thereby, he was watching her. Walks by me every day. Her and the love are the same. The woman that stole my heart, the beauty is her name. This is telling you that these men think you're beautiful at whatever state you are right now, but they've been watching at a distance. Next. I'm hoping I can make you mine before another man steals your heart. It didn't, that was the verse again. It didn't take much time to think about, but I don't want to move too fast. Some of us have been wondering, why is it taking this man so long to say something? If he's been watching, he's been observing, he's been seeing, he has knowledge. Some of us, he's probably just been watching you on your channel, watching you in what it is that you do, tracking the things that you put in your hands to, whatever it is. And we sit up there like, if you're doing all this, why ain't you said something? Yet. Some of them were cross-checking to make sure that your character was all that it was cracked up to be. And they now know, yes, it is. So they didn't want to move too fast, so they were just observing to make sure you were legitimate. Because I knew that when I saw you again, that I wouldn't want to let you pass. I've been seeing 844, meaning they will come on their own will. So they're not going to let the opportunity when it comes past again for them to allow it to pass by. So what else? Because their eyes have seen the glory, God has given them a viewpoint of who you are. I'm being reminded of the dream that the angel gave to Joseph and showed him the scenario with Mary. In the coming of your smile. So I swear, if you ever come around again, please stay for a while. They've been mesmerized by your natural beauty. And some of you have been concerned about that thing. And they're like, no, I appreciate you for who you are in your natural estate. You don't have to become something different to get or gain their love. And the truth of the matter was, when they were attracted to the other women, it wasn't the fact that their external beauty attracted them. Matter of factly, they knew when they went to those women that it wasn't about that. It was simply because of the fact of what they presented themselves as. They more than likely was just going there to sleep with them anyway. You know that they love you for who you are naturally, and they're going to love you. Meaning, you ever heard the saying, a man does not marry what he plays with? You know he can't play with you. That's what took so long. Trying to go past the previous verse. You are so beautiful. When I'm down and out, I've never seemed to get tired of your love. You bring refreshing to this individual in a way that they never knew nor saw or understood. And they're actually a little mesmerized by that because they haven't had that with anybody else. Because you are wonderful. You're wonderful. I'm just dying to make you see anything you want inside your heart. They want you to see how beautiful you are to them, is what they truly desire. And they want you to view it through their eyes. So he goes back into the main verse. Okay, it repeats twice. Then the Lord also gave me the song from the Temptations. Hold on, I'm going that 1 second. Okay, here it shows, oh, each and every day my window, I watch her as she passes by. They've been observing you. I say to myself, you're such a lucky guy. To have a girl like her is truly a dream come true. Out of all the fellows in the world, she belongs to me. But it was just my imagination. Some of these men, because of the fact that the way that the Lord has brought you to their attention, are feeling like it's a dream. How is this true? How is it that this person I ain't never met? What do we feel? Hello. I never met this person a day in my life, and you telling me that this is the person that I'm going to marry? I have a spiritual connection with them, and I'm going to marry this individual? And you telling me that I may have to do that like immediately? Are you serious, God? Maybe it's just my imagination running away with me. It's just my imagination running away with me, is how they've been feeling. Also, as soon as we'll be married and raise a family, oh yeah, a cozy little home out in the country with 2 children, maybe 3, I'll tell you, I can visualize it all. This couldn't be a dream, far too real it all seems. God done gave this man vision. He done seen you. If you've been having visions of what your family life will look like with this person, he gave them the same visions. I've heard many and many a person say this, that whenever God speaks to you, he doesn't only just speak to you, he speaks to them. The problem is that these men be out there in the world doing what they want to do, and what ends up happening is they sit up there and be like, I want to rebel against this. I want to reject this. But if you recall, when I did the review for the song I Like It, is it I Like It? I didn't do I Like It. I did All This Love. It was a line in that song that said, I walked myself into this situation. They walked themselves into all this calamity and confusion that they just had to break themselves out of. When they were supposed to come to you. But remember, they felt like their mind was telling them and playing tricks on them. So it was just their imagination. So they ran. because it's just my imagination running away with me, telling you it's just my imagination running away with me. They thought it was their imagination playing tricks on them. And if your spouse had any type of external proclivities, fill in the blanks, they probably was thinking, "Oh, that's because I was doing that. That must be why I had that vision." And God was like, "No, that's the one. Go back to her." Every night on my knees, I pray. Some of these men have been on their knees praying for clarity about these visions that God's been giving them about you. Because they see you and they're like, how do I approach you? I don't understand how this is supposed to work. I don't get it. Is it my imagination? What in the world is going on? Don't ever let another take her love away from me, or I will surely die. Her love is heavenly. When her arms enfold me, I hear tender rhapsody, but in reality, she doesn't even know me. This almost seems like the response to, you remember that Patti LaBelle song, If You Only Knew? That's what this sounds like in the male's perspective. I did a review for that song, I believe, already too. Because some of them, I believe, have been dealing with the fact that they've been in shame for the things that they have done in their life, relationships, and so on and so forth. So they feel like, this woman don't know me at all. If she knew who I was, she wouldn't. I can't go to her or tell her anything. And God's like, she may not know everything, but I've been prepared her for you. Which also means I done prepped her to be able to handle your mess. Could you please go talk to her? And he goes again, once again. Running away with me, running away with me. Oh, tell you it was just my imagination running away with me. I've never met her, but I can't forget her. It's just my imagination. And it goes back into the end of that song. So these guys are nearby. Spiritually, they're nearby. They're like spiritually just next door to you. Spiritually en route to you. And lastly, the Lord gave me this song. It popped up in my head, and I was thinking about it the other day when I was trying to figure out what the last song was. But I think I was supposed to wait until I got to here. So I'm going to give you the song now. Let's see if I can find the lyrics for it. Okay, so the Lord gave me My Boo from Usher. And I'm like, what? So this might be for some of y'all that are in reconnection with somebody that was from your past. So I know that my situation is not a from my past scenario, but for some of y'all, this may be the case, and it probably could be seen in a duality format, meaning it could be somebody from your past, or it could be somebody that God's been dealing with you about that maybe you met momentarily, and he's bringing this person back around. Okay? So there's a way that one person, there's always that one person that will always have your heart. You never see it coming because you're blinded from the start. The Lord blinded them with love for you, okay? They didn't see how this relationship was going to come to pass. Know that you're the one for me. It's clear for everyone to see. Now, this is interesting that it would be for everyone else that would notice it, but the individual. Take that how you choose. Oh, baby. Okay, then the ad-libs. You will always be my boo. See, I don't know about y'all, but I know about us, and it's the only way that we know how to rock. So let's get back to the verses. Do you remember, girl, I was the one who gave you your first kiss. I'm actually being reminded of Trust and Obedience Ministry. She was talking about a lyric in a song, and she was talking about that when this man comes, especially for those of us that have been following the Disney princesses thing that the Lord keeps bringing us back to, go back and look at my reviews for Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. Love's first kiss always breaks the curse. So it's that kiss that will be the reference point. Because I remember, girl, it was the one who said, I was the one who told you to put your lips like this before all the fame and all the people screaming your name. Some of you, because of the status of this relationship, it is literally going to position you for a platform in the public eye, not just sitting in your house or sitting in your office doing these YouTube videos. I'm talking lights, cameras, red carpets. But the word says what? What you do in private, I will make you famous for in public. It started when we were younger. You were my boo. Now another brother's taking over, but still, I see it in your eyes. Now, this is what confused me, and one of the reasons why I resisted posting this song, because I'm like, another brother. Some of these men think that there's another man in your life. But this could actually go two ways, because there could be actually two people watching you. One is the one God has ordained to watch you, and two, the one that the enemy has sent. And it's not so much that they're an enemy, they just not the one that God wants you to be with. And they've been acquiredly watching you as well, which is weird to me, but they've been observing you and trying to see if you would have any appreciation towards them. So, and I also remember Stephanie P doing a word where she was talking about there was a guy that is your God ordained spouse that is watching you, but they're afraid to move forward. But there's also another guy that's watching you that he wants to swoop in before your God ordained spouse comes in. And I also heard the same thing from Elisa Marie, that there is a man, this may be for somebody, that potentially you're watching your God ordained spouse and they're watching you. And they don't understand why you're waiting for this individual. So it's not that you know who this individual is, but potentially the guy that you're supposed to be with recognizes that there's potentially somebody there that you don't even recognize is still is lurking around you. I don't know who that's for, but the Lord brought that to my attention while I was observing this. Even though we used to argue, it's all right, my boo. I know we haven't seen each other in a while, but you will always be my boo. I was in love with you when we were younger. You were my boo. See, in my case, I have no interest in anybody from my past, so nothing past-wise is an interest for me. That's a warning. Literally, that's a warning. Let me explain something to you. This is a spiritual warning to anybody that is observing me from my past. This is an understanding. I will spiritually cut you off if you from my past trying to attach to me now. You're going to have a very bad wake-up call in the name of Jesus if you come anywhere near me spiritually. Because I already got that covered in the spirit. don't even try it. The man that's supposed to be, he knows who he is, and he gonna approach when he ready. But if you're from my past and you know who you are, don't you dare come near me. That's all I have to say. uh Next, even though there's another man in my life, you will always be my boo. Um, for somebody, that's probably your case. Yes, I remember, boy, because after we kissed, I could only think about your lips. Yes, I remember, boy. The moment I knew you were the one I could spend the rest of my life. Even before all the fame and all the people screaming your name, I was there and you were my baby. These individuals, you may not have had, I'm talking to my people that have not been in relationship with their God ordained spouses yet. Some of you, you may have had interactions with your God ordained spouse. I do know that that was my case. It was some random moments that caused us to interact not face to face. That's all I'm going to say. And that makes them a past interaction. But you are not famous, but they might be. And they may have a level of influence, clout, so on and so forth. Remember, what did I just say in the earlier part of this message? That the person is well known in the town. The person is a community leader. So, to each his own. Influencer, community leader, operating in whatever industry that he is called to, and he's already in that industry. Oh, what's the next thing? You are not famous. They are. Now, you didn't know them, but they gonna meet you before you become famous. No. And we go back into the verse. So yeah, that was the song. That was that song. So this is what the Lord brought my attention to. Some of these people, they are not actual guy next door, meaning it's not an actual person that is living across the hall from you. It is actually a person that has a personality of the person next door. Dependable, straightforward, pleasant, respectable, likable. That is who this individual is. And I personally know that my God ordained spouse is that person. So, with that being said, they have been in a push and a pull. They can see you. They've been looking through the lattice windows. They've noticed you. They have full understanding of you. They understand who you are to them because the Lord already done showed you them and vice versa. But they've just, and they are that close. A lot of you have been saying or getting that message from the Lord saying you're closer than you think or so on and so forth. And it's like, I'm closer than I think. We ain't that close. I personally know the individual that the Lord has shown me is my spouse. I was closer to him when I was in the other city than I am right now. So it ain't that close. So whatever is the Lord's will and desire in this time and in this season, God will make it way. But he has that boy next door personality. But you also have to agree, circling back to what Dana Ray said, you have to love thy neighbor. You have to love him with the heart of a neighbor, a brother in Christ. God's going to open it up, but he's been observing you. He's been watching you. All of these songs represent somebody that has been watching and observing you for a period of time. Whether they've come through reminiscence of their past or whatever that situation is, whether they're trying to figure out how to get up enough courage to say something to you. They are going to speak. And it's funny, I've been seeing 1255 and always assumed that it meant that it shall come to pass. Because it says, when the south wind blows and the heat of the summer, it is mid-August and it's 100 degrees. It's going to come to pass. But there's another meaning for 1255, which means in communication. Communication is coming. It's about to go down. So I ain't got that much more time left. I'm going to leave that with you. Know this. I got another movie review coming, y'all. Get ready, because the Lord done gave me The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston. You know I got something good for y'all coming with that one. Stay tuned. Until next time. Bye-bye.